Hey YouTube faithful, Heavenly Prepper here. We're making a video today as the spot price of silver is below 20. And we're making this video because there's been a lot of debate about should we be happy or sad of this price decrease. Who should be happy, who should be sad. Should we all be happy since we get to accumulate more at a lower price? And so I'm going to answer a couple of these questions logically. And to start, you're looking at a 5-year graph here, and the green line's the 200-day moving average. Now, to start the video, though, I want to make sure we understand the difference between a stacker and a trader. Because if you're a trader and you've bought in the last 2+ years, well, then you're not happy about this price move. Because a trader is not looking for the long term, okay? Your trader's looking for unless they are shorting silver, your trader is looking to make money as soon as possible. Okay, as stackers, that's not what we're looking at. Okay, so let's just frame the question from a stacker's perspective, somebody who's stacking for the long term. Who should be happy? Who should be sad? And why is that the case? Okay, so let's take somebody and let's call them a seasoned pro who's been stacking 5 years or more. Okay, now let's say this pro has been able to stack 1,000 ounces a year. Now maybe that's more than you're able to stack, maybe that's less, but let's just throw that number out there and say a person can stack 1,000 ounces a year. Okay, so in the last 5 years here, looking at this chart, if I'm able to stack 1,000 ounces a year, so 5,000 ounces as a seasoned pro, my price point would probably be right in the $22, $23 range, right about there, where half my stack's below that, half my stack's above that. That's kind of the median price. And so if I'm stacking 1,000 ounces, maybe that's my midpoint, my dollar cost average for those 5,000 ounces. Okay, so let's reflect that here. So we have the 5,000 ounces, and I said 22 or 23, but if you include a premium, let's say you're buying American Silver Eagles at $3 over spot, your cost basis over those 5 years is $130,000. Okay, and your average right here is $26, which makes sense. We just said that's your overall average of your 5,000 ounces. Okay, so assuming the price just went down to below 20. Now, the month comes up, the month of June, and you say, I'm going to buy my allocation. Well, if you're stacking 1,000 ounces a year, that's approximately 83 ounces a month. So you add 83 ounces for the month, and you can get it at, let's say, $19.75, okay, if you bought smart on the dip, but you got to pay a premium, so we're going to call it, let's say, $22.50. All right, and so that cost you $18.67. And what does that do? Well, that drops your average, your total dollar cost average, 6 cents overall for that month. Now, that's not bad, of course, but if you look at the price drop to $22.50, okay, while your dollar cost averaged at $25.94, the price is now $22.50. So you may be looking at this like, well, okay, I get to buy my next silver cheaper, but my overall stack that I've paid $131,000 for is now worth much less. Okay, so while you can still have a positive spin, the seasoned pro is going to be the least happy with his stack with this huge silver decrease in price. Okay, let's talk about the accumulator. So let's assume this accumulator has been accumulating over the last year. So let's go to the 1-year chart. This is silver over the last year. And if you see that 200-day moving average, that green line, you can see that the accumulator's been getting silver between the $29, $30 mark, depending on where they've been accumulating. So I just give them an estimate here of $31, add a little bit of premium there. So they're at a cost basis of $31,000, an average of $31. Okay. So again, let's say the same thing. This accumulator adds 83 ounces for the month of June. He gets to the same price, $22.50, and boom, okay, he or she, of course, just dropped their cost basis by 65 cents. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay? That's a significant drop. I mean, it's not mind bending or it's not going to shatter anybody's worlds, but still, you're dropping 65 cents for your overall stack of almost 1,100 ounces. Okay, so if you're in the accumulation phase, you're definitely happier about this price drop, especially if you can continue to stack and continue to dollar cost average to this lower end and keep decreasing this number. Okay, and of course, this is always assuming that silver goes back up in price above your dollar cost average. Now, who's going to be the happiest? Of course, the beginner. All right. So let's go back to the price chart. And over the last 3 months, let's say you just started collecting. Excuse me, stacking. Let's say you just started stacking. You should be the happiest of all. This price decrease has helped you accumulate at the low end. Okay? So assuming you just started last month with 83 ounces at 26, you can now add another 83 ounces at 22.50. And boom, your average just went from 26 to 24.25. You've significantly improved, and you have the lowest dollar cost average of everyone out there as far as the accumulator and the seasoned pro, okay, over the last 5 years. So congratulations, you have the lowest cost basis, but you also have the least amount of ounces. What that means, guys, is that if you're the newest stacker, you want to try to stack as hard as you can right now. And looking on YouTube, okay, we definitely have more newer stackers, more people who have come in the last year than people who have been stacking for 5-10 years. Okay, so if you're new to this, if you're new to silver stacking, now is the time to be pressing your ounces, and don't worry about falling on the sword that's coming down. Okay, silver might go to 18, it might go to 17. Look, that does not matter, especially if you're a beginning stacker. You need to start accumulating ounces now while this price is so low. Because guess what, guys? It could hit 40 again, probably not before the end of the year, but you never know. You never know how these things are going to work, okay? So accumulate now while the price is low. And you know what? Maybe you double this month at that price. And boom, all of a sudden you're down under 24 for your average, okay? So again, if you're a beginning stacker, you're the most happy, you're the happiest in regards to this price decrease in silver, okay? Now, not to say that the seasoned pro isn't going to be happy to accumulate a few more ounces, but he's just going to be less enthused, all right? So again, we all get the dollar cost average down. I mean, assuming your cost basis isn't at like 15, and enjoy it while you last, guys, because trust me, it's not going to last. Silver's not going to stay at $20 an ounce for the next 10 years. Not going to happen. You can quote me on it. Not going to happen. Okay? This is Heavenly Prepper, preaching and prepping.